Welcome to another edition of Interruptions. I'm your host, Oda Smith. Today, I bring back a great guy. God has given me his time. Don't take it lightly. The Falcons beat writer, D. Orlando Ledbetter, talking all things Falcons today, since the draft is tomorrow. You see my backdrop. The pick is in. How you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm doing great, Otis. Thanks for having me back on Interruptions.
Thank you. Thank you for coming back. Before we get into the draft, I just want to catch up on some things that have, already transpired. What were your talk to me about your thoughts on signing Lorenzo Carter and Marcus Mariota?
Yeah, well, Mariota, he was a kid that, coming out with the second overall pick, kind of flopped in Tennessee, and they ran him a little bit with some RPOs and with the Raiders. So I kind of immediately knew he was a bridge guy who had worked with Arthur Smith before, and Arthur Smith actually benched him. So I'm trying to figure out why why are you going back to this cat? But so that's the we talked to him about it, and so they're at different places, and he needs them now because it looks like whoever the owner or whatever they went after Deshaun and was not in that to win it, and because the owner said, well, we didn't do all our work, we were going to do it if we needed to, but you don't get into something like that if you not trying to win it. And so then, of course, Matt at that point, they ended up, hey, talk to the coach. Hey, they almost made the playoffs last year. I'll go to the coach. And so, I thought that the organization botched that whole deal. Mm-hmm. Marcus Mariota doesn't really excite me much. I want to see what the next move is. But Lorenzo, I was happy for him. Actually a good friend of the family, known him since high school. He had a good career at Georgia and was doing a good job on a bad situation up there with the Giants. So hoping Lowe can come home and fulfill some of the promise that a lot of people have for him. I know I used to go to their high school games out there.
Yeah.
The year they won the state out at Norcross. Coach Maloof from my days covering high schools in Gwinnett. Definitely would like to see Lorenzo, do a good job out there. I'm pretty sure he wants to do the same.
What's funny about that is when I was doing sports management before I let it go and just focus on this podcast, I was trying to recruit Lorenzo. So I had to sit down with his mother and him and his sisters. Trust me, it was me, and it was about 7 people. So I've always been, fond of him, watching him, and and if you remember, Orlando, that Georgia team kind of shocked everybody because the year previous, they did, kind of the normal Georgia, 10-2, 9-3 type season. And here they are playing for a national championship, and he was on that team and went to the Giants. And like you said, he's done some things. He's done some things with the Giants. He's had some sacks. He had some pressures. Like you said, hopefully he will come back here home and kind of be one of those pass rushers that Atlanta's looking for.
Yeah, no doubt. That Georgia team, I covered them up in the Falcons were playing the Bears, and they were playing at Notre Dame. So I covered that Georgia at Notre Dame game when they kind of got that season rolling up there. Him and Bellamy had big games in that day, and just kind of built on that over the course of the season. He's going to have opportunities here with the Falcons. Him and Agunda Jay will be the first 2 outside linebackers. James Walters is still here also, and they like playing him against the run. They could end up with the edge rusher here in the draft at some point. So he's definitely gonna get an opportunity, and he's on a 1-year contract, so he's motivated
That'll motivate you.
to go out and put up a double-digit sack year and get some of that bigger money that's out there in the NFL.
Well, you alluded to it. My second question: how did you? And I'll tell you mine, but I want to hear from you. How did you feel about the Matt Ryan trade?
I thought that if they wanted to trade him, they should trade him last year. I was under the impression they were in for the long haul. And, they had said they wanted to build the team out, then drop the quarterback in there, and then take off kind of like Kansas City did.
Right.
So Mahomes didn't start right away. They built the team out. When they got Mahomes, he's set. And when they were ready, they traded Alex Smith. That's what I thought they were going to do here. But something happened. They got involved in the Deshaun Watson because they were sitting there minding their business. And then Avery, his coach was like, hey, we haven't heard from the Falcons. And, the quarterback coach. And
okay.
And so the Falcons could have said, no, you're not going to hear from us. We're good. But they didn't. They didn't. And, so they got in there trying to steal him and then it got real serious when they started kicking people out and the price started going up. And so when Cleveland came in with the real offer, you couldn't match that. There was nothing you could do at that point. Now you got to get rid of your quarterback because he's like, hey, y'all trying to replace me. So I thought that was mishandled. And then I'm not even getting into the cases and so forth that Deshaun had. Either, a certain segment of the fan base that was, was going to have trouble dealing with that also. So, it was just a bad look all the way around. You didn't win. And you went after the guy that's, got a couple marks on him, even though you do know him. He was your ball boy and so forth. So I thought they botched that. And now they're in a situation where they're in the draft looking for quarterbacks. Everybody knew that there was no quarterbacks in this draft. So, so now they're like trying to find a quarterback, like you on Madden trying to make a quarterback out of these guys. And, God bless and good luck.
Well, the funny part is, when you and I talked last year about, Matt Ryan or, possibly getting Josh Fields, let him sit behind Matt until, we knew about the dead cap money that Matt was going to cost. So we, like you said, we figured if they do something like you said Kansas City did, it would be a great situation because then when you had a Justin Fields going in, he would know the offense. He wouldn't just be new on the field, but he would be new playing, but he would know the offense. He would know where to go with the ball and all that kind of stuff. So like you said, then they do it. I didn't think they were going to move on from Matt this year because one, I didn't think Matt was the problem. First of all, I just think the weapons he was used to having throughout his career, he no longer had them. And so, and we know he's not the most mobile, quarterback. So now you're asking him to do things that, he's just not capable of doing. And to your point, I was actually all in with them trying to go after Deshaun Watson. I just think, like you said, if you're going to get in it, win it. I mean, clearly, at some point, he narrowed it down to Atlanta and New Orleans. So you had a shot. Just match the offer because you're in it now. Like you said, you're in it now. And then when you lose out, now you got to trade Matt. Then you receiver. I don't know what Calvin was doing. So now you don't even have any receiver. You might get Mariota King.
Yeah, so many RPOs you could run at this point. So it's going to be interesting to see what weapons they do end up with and how they're going to try to deploy them. The line's still a problem. Your 28th run in the ball. You can't protect the quarterback. He gave up 40 sacks. And it was, Arthur Smith did a great job the first half of the season with the passing game. Quick game, get it out. he only had like 10, 12 sacks. But then when people started jumping the routes and Matt had to hold on to the ball and they didn't come with any new route combinations, he was open season on Matt. And you saw them stacks, all them sacks pile up down the stretch. So, they could never establish the run. They ran the ball once again against Jacksonville pretty good, a little bit against Tampa. But, once if you don't have good blocking, it doesn't get better over the course of the season.
No,
I don't know how they didn't come in last season and say, hey, we got to fix the line. So
I give them credit. They won 2 more games that I predicted. I said they would only win 5 and they won 7. So they did. I still was in the ballpark. Let me ask you something, because I've never heard anybody ask you this question. Doesn't mean they haven't. I just hadn't heard it. But do you think the Falcons? Do you think they do a good job also when it comes to free agency, selling the city as well as the team? What I mean by that is, a lot of people like to come here, they like to visit, right? They love Atlanta. But I'm looking at, like, if you have cap money using and I know the Falcons didn't have it this year, but they'll have it next year. So you're looking at the cap money and you look at the amount of money, what a $500,000 to $1 million house, $500,000 to $1 million house will get you in Georgia versus what it'll get you in Florida or California. Do you think they do a good job also selling the city basing on, the amount of money that the player is going to make and how they can live here?
I know the old administration did. Thomas Dimitroff and Mike Smith and his group, and then Coach Dan, because they did a lot of business in Buckhead and Chops, and guys would come in town. They would be at some of the fine steakhouses in the city, and the post party part would be done in the city also. Then the poor fellas, when they find out they got to drive to Flowery Branch, end up staying out in, Brazelton and Johns Creek and out that way. So they ain't really in the city. But, they play in the city and they gonna rep for the city.
Right.
So the new group, though, is more cognizant, Terry and Coach Arthur, the fact that there are a lot of players from Georgia in the National Football League. And we've seen them in the last few years, bring Darquez Denard home, Casey Hayward, Lorenzo Carter this year. Darquez wasn't one of their guys, but Valters was a guy that bounced around from Tucker and Stanford. Now he's a part of the team. So they want Georgia guys home, and that's a good thing, because I remember when Andy Reid and them came in here with the safety. I'm forgetting his name right now. Hall of Fame safety, pick 6, and I'm drawing the blank. Played at Tennessee.
Tennessee. And he played for Philly?
No. Played for Kansas City.
Eric Berry.
Yeah. So when Eric Berry and them came in, it was like 5 guys. Albert from Wilson from Georgia State. And before the team Saturday night, he said, hey, all my Georgia guys, stand up. He's like, I need y'all to get this game tomorrow. So,
oh, my God.
Eric Berry showed out, had the pick 6 and, pick 2, pick 6. And, the Chiefs came in here and did that thing. So you keep those guys home. That's a good foundation, a good part of your locker room to have it in the Falcons organization.
What do you believe the 3 biggest needs that the Falcons need to address in this year's draft this weekend?
Yeah, Otis, I made my list and it was like 10 things.
Well, just give me 3, because look, right. they ain't gonna fix it all in one
draft. No, I right tackle, pass rusher, and a running back. I didn't get to receiver, and you got Ridley out. So yeah, they got a lot of needs, Otis, and that's the good thing about this draft is that whoever they get, you're gonna be like, okay, yeah, I can see him playing.
Yeah. Actually,
whoever they get, This is gonna be the best draft ever for Fontenot, because whoever he picks, they got a spot.
Well,
Yeah, and they gonna be able to help the team.
well, my philosophy, and let me just get your thoughts, because I'm looking for from afar, even though I follow college football, follow the players and everything. What I was thinking, my first pick, I would choose a quarterback only because there, as you know, there's no guarantee next year of getting the kid out of Alabama or Ohio State. I would they've got two second round, 2 third rounds. So I would leapfrog, I would jump up to get the Giants' 5th pick, switch picks, give my my highest second round of this year, my highest third round this year, and then give a second round next year. I think that'll be enough because they're not moving up that far. That might be enough, to make a trade. Take Malik Willis, then go receiver. Well, I'm sorry, before in the second round, trade back in the second round, pick up another, maybe a possible pick. I'm talking about a third round, maybe picking up a third round pick to get through, because what we talked about is, like you said, you can't fix it all. So I would just go offense this year's draft. Get whether it's Mariota and you have Malik Willis sitting for a minute, right? Like you stated, you're going to get the guy killed if you can't block, and then he has nobody to throw the ball to besides Cordell Patterson. And then you use Cordell to run the ball, so you can't keep using him to do everything. So you need a receiver, you need linemen, and you need a running back. And another tight end would help as well to take pressure off of Kyle Pitts. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no doubt. I like Malik. I think a couple troubling things though is that the coach said he knows what he knows, which means that's code for he don't know.
He don't know nothing.
He don't know that much. So he's got to sit and watch,
right,
and so forth, and learn. So you got to make that situation for him. But I mean, you can see the talent clear as day. I was at the Senior Bowl and saw him with D1 guys, and he was not out of place. He started at Auburn, so that wasn't a big thing. Right. You could teach him. You can get by with him being a one throw guy for a few years, which is what Carolina did with Cam. And then, once they found out Cam wasn't going to throw to the third or the fourth guy, and he was going to run, he started taking on a lot of hits.
Correct.
So, you got to develop, you got to spread the ball. Greg Knapp told me that, hey, at some point, you're going to have to make plays from inside the pocket.
Correct.
In the 20, in the red zone. So I'm fine with getting him if you got a developmental plan for Malik. You're going to have to roll him out. He's only 6 foot. You're going to have to do some half rows, double rows, all the Joe Gibbs stuff with Joe Theismann. But,
right.
You got to be able to do that. And, yeah, offense, I would turn it to the line. If you go quarterback, the next thing I'm doing is taking the biggest, baddest lineman, and I'm getting as many of them as I can. And we're going to go to camp with 20 linemen. And out of them 20, I'm going to pick a line. And then we're gonna go. If we gotta go straight out formation and run the ball at you all day, then that's what we gotta do.
That's what Philly did.
Right. That's what we gotta do. That's what we gotta do.
Because I think you can, like you said, the one thing Malik will do for you, like you said, when you get a good running game, and I think if you pick up an extra pick. Guys like Zamir White will be there in the 3rd and 4th round. Guys, Brian Robinson from Alabama, all power backs. The way Arthur wants to run, the way he ran his from Tennessee, he wants to run a power running game. Well, a guy, Malik will do what? He'll hold a backside defensive end because they're too scared he's going to keep it and come back. So. Like you said, you put that game plan together and you kind of start filling out. And I say he fits what Arthur wants to do, because Arthur wants to run the ball first anyway. He wants a power running game. Like you said, they can go inside out, like you, as far as the offensive line, inside out, get some guards, go in, which you could get later in the draft. And like you said, you have so many need. And to me, let me get your thoughts on this. This was a question I had for you, which is, me personally, I don't feel this is a strong pass rushing draft. I mean, they're guys at the top. We know about the three at the top, far as Oregon, Aiden, and you got the kid out of Georgia, right? After that, to me, I don't see really like somebody you're gonna hang your hat and say, okay, he's gonna get me at least 10 sacks. You know what I mean? So what are your thoughts? I don't really. That's why I said stick with offense this draft, because I don't really see any pass rushers that'll be there for. I'm talking about for Atlanta.
Yeah, see, my guy Big Chuck sent me his list, so I got the list of 40 dudes. So,
Chuck sent you 40 guys.
Yeah, I got 41. Last one is Chris Hinton. So come up from the back.
From Michigan.
From Michigan, little Chris. Terry Bear Fair from Auburn. I haven't gotten all into this list, but it's some guys, and you got to find people. You got to find somebody off this list. The Raiders, they took Cleveland Farrell high, and they got Max Crosby in the fourth.
That's true.
Max Crosby's a Pro Bowler, so you got to hit on some of these other guys.
You're
Brandon
right.
Smith out of Penn State. Brian, these are linebackers. Osamoa, Tyree Johnson, Texas A&M. I heard his name. The kid Kingsley Inobari from South Carolina. He's from here. I gotta learn how to pronounce his name.
He's more like a outside linebacker type.
Yeah,
he's a tweener, because I think he's only what, 6 feet 6'1".
Yeah. Okay. But they come in different shapes and sizes. Sure. You gotta see does he look like Elvis Domerville? He wasn't 6'5", but he can get to the quarterback. Cam Thomas, San Diego State. And then we get into the top 10 guys. Drake Jackson, USC, James Houston, JSU, Pasco, guys we all hearing about, Jermaine Johnson, Jordan Davis, and all that. So yeah, out of that second tier guys, you gonna be able to draft one of them. So
Jermaine will, but if I'm saying, if they want to go pass rusher, I believe they could get Jermaine Johnson at 8. He will be there. My thing was, I wanted them to try to address the offense first, because of knowing they'll have cap money next year, and I don't think anybody will come here and play if they don't know that the offense have weapons, to do, especially if you don't have a trigger man. If you don't have a trigger man, because. So what are your thoughts?
Well, I think that is very solid, because at some point in this league, you got to score points. Okay, the Bengals could score points last year. They got to the Super Bowl. They could score points with a line that couldn't block.
Lord Jesus.
Got the Super Bowl.
9 sacks.
So they couldn't pass block, but they could run block. So, they ran Mixon down people's throat and got there. So you got to be able to do something, Coach. So I think fixing the offense for the long term would, it's an offensive league. I understand that. No question about it. And then if you get the line right, you get a lineman, they're good for 10 years. Boom.
Thank you.
If it's a good, 10 years, we saw Big Beasley flash and fall off the cliff in year 4, but you don't ever see that with linemen. You can say what you want about Jake Smith, but he's been solid for 8 years, 1 Pro Bowl year in there. So once you hit on the lineman, then you can go start fixing some of these other things.
Yeah, because my other thought too, Orlando, was you play the Bucks, you play the Panthers, you play the Saints. They all have good defenses, and if you can't put any weapons out there, that can put some points, and knowing how Tampa Bay just blitz, like when they just keep coming, they won't stop coming. Like we said, you can get Mariota killed. Like he won't make it. So like you said, addressing the line, addressing the offense. Do you think, or do you feel from your experience covering the team, that the Falcons know how to move up and down the board. I've never really seen them, you know, have the picks that they have now and know how to use slide up, slide back. You know, do you think that they are experienced enough to know how to, you know, use the board?
Yeah, no question about it. Because, and this is why Terry comes from the Saints. He
Hmm.
brought his old boss with him, Ryan Pace. They learned under Mickey Loomis. And,
Okay.
you know, they went up to get Davenport. Maybe paid too much, but they went up and got him. You know, the older guys are still around. Phil Emery and Rustin Webster. So
Uh-huh.
they giving them input in there. I haven't you know, Phil, I don't know if he went up or down Chicago. I don't know exactly what Webster did in Tennessee, but he was around when they drafted Jake Locker 8th overall and Mariota number 2.
Okay.
So they got a lot of experience in quarterback drafting. You know, he was in Tampa when they got Dilfer. So we haven't seen him go up and down yet, but they definitely have the experience to have some deals on the table going into tomorrow under certain scenarios that, you know, hey, if Pittsburgh wants to come up, we fall back, get Jordan Davis. You know, they got scenarios already. Terry's kind of told us that yesterday.
Okay. My final question for you, it has nothing to do with football. I just want to know, have you gotten a chance to do some vacation?
No, not yet. No, not yet. But that's on the agenda.
That's
You
on this.
know, yeah, she was been trying to pin me down. One of the kids just got back from Mexico, and she's like, "Well, where are we going? We're going somewhere. We were gonna go to Rome, but you know, the war in Russia has kind of got us a
Yeah,
little antsy about international travel.
I
So,
don't blame
you know,
you.
maybe I'm gonna roll Belize by her and Aruba and see if I can do that."
Well, be safe, man. I know everybody's been pulling on you. You've been covering the team and doing your job. I like hearing you on the radio and giving the analysis and covering the team, man. Uh, when you go on vacation, please be safe out there for me. Please be safe, you and your family. And thank you for once again coming on and blessing us. And like I said, I'm going to drop this tomorrow, so I'll send it to you tomorrow, so it'll be out. And get some
All
rest.
right, but brother Otis, thanks a lot. I really appreciate it, and I know we were trying to connect and that didn't work out, but I know I want to make
Sure.
sure we got this done. And thanks for having me, and good luck with the interruption.
All right. Thank you, man. Peace. Be
You're welcome.
safe.
Peace. Uh-huh.